side.
GAO, weapons hot.
Again, the Coalition spawn side. Things happen really quick off the break. This is an awesome map, but when we don't lock it down properly, there's a lot going on, and they can get behind us, and we're getting shot. So let's simplify the map, come up with a basic game plan and general understanding of what we're all trying to accomplish. We'll see how this plays out and refine game plans from there. All right, so off the break, we're going to throw probably at least three guns left of all these buses you see here. Yellow bus, probably 3 guns left of that yellow bus, and then 2 guns potentially in the middle and 1 gun right. And I'll explain all that in a second. So let me get my handgun out. Off the break, if you start here, instead of running way up here to go center or right, just as soon as you can, break it out to this side here. Get your gun up, because they are going to be running down this street side right next to this building, which is the Riley's Arcade. Okay, so get your gun up, make sure it's a 4 times, and get these kills of people running through here. Okay, give yourself the best angle to do so. And if you don't get the kills before they make it into the arcade building, you can see them as they go there, and you can call it out. So that way, your players that are booking it to the right, wherever they are on this right side, I'm not going to specify exact locations at this time, but anything near this fountain side and to the right of it is our right player. But you can clean it up now, okay? So you're going to be cleaning up basically between the blue bus and the outside of the map. Alright, so if you hear blue bus or if you hear arcade, blue bus is right here on the map. That's the call out, and arcade's obviously the building on the right hand side there. So off the break, we're going to try to keep them from making it right. Keep them out of the arcade, keep them from getting behind us over here. So that's the general idea off the start. Again, we're going to put probably 2 guns filtering out to the right hand side here. Where they end up playing exactly, not 100%. Alright, so this is where we spawn, which is, I believe, between the library or the bookstore and the bank. Okay, so let's double check here. Yeah, Reading Palace, so the bookstore. This is our bookstore, this is our bank. Pretty sure it's a bank. Whatever it is, I've been calling it bank all day, so let's see what it actually looks like. I don't know why I was calling this bank. We'll just call it Winston. Call it Winston, okay? So we've got reading. This is our reading building. This is Winston, or the Winstonian if you want to get all correct, okay? We spawn between those buildings. Our center player, probably 2 guns, should start post in this general area, shoot them before they get into our arcade, okay? If they happen to make it that way, make the call out, and our other 1 player that's going out this way can kind of post and be ready for that trouble, okay? This is probably a better spot to post because you're not exposing yourself to really much. Stay down so you're not getting shot from whether it be that bus down there or on top of the scaffolding. Just get ready for those call-ups and the cleanups that need to take place, and find yourself a spot. You're going to have to figure it out as we go. I'm not going to find those spots for you right now. Okay? As we play more, I'm sure we'll find a lot of really good spots, and we'll make videos on those things, so that way guys can stay on top of their game, whether they're playing a different position. Because, I mean, what's going to happen is what's happened in years past is guys get comfortable with a certain spot, and then when you put them in another spot that they haven't played, they're totally lost. They don't know the callouts, they don't know what's going on, and that's understandable, and that's why it's important we watch these videos, so that way when you're playing with 6 different guys than you're used to playing with, because we got 12 guys on the roster, or whatever the case may be, you're competent and confident that you can play a different spot, okay? And the other cool thing is there's spots on a map that are, I won't say better than others, but they might be hotter than others, they might get more kills typically. So by knowing all the spots on a map, we're able to move people around, so long as everyone's got a different play ability, and we try to suit people to where they're best suited. Some people are better at getting kills up close. Some people are better at shooting long distance, things like that. So anyway, that's kind of a tangent, but one player is going to end up posting right and cleaning up anybody that's going to try to make it out into our red light district here. Okay, I think we've been calling it the shoe store, but I mean there's clothing and shoes. But every time you come in and out of this building, it alarms. So, and to me, the lighting always was red, so I always called it red light district. But we'll call it Lawrence. I mean, honestly, we need to keep it simple. So, I mean, whatever we're comfortable calling it, red light, you know, clothing store, whatever it is. This is where they try to head, get behind us, okay? So, one player off the break is going to basically get themselves in position to clean up anybody that makes it to our right. Just in case our two center players that off the break, again, we spawn between the bookstore and Winston. Just in case these guys miss those shots, which it's possible, it's a long-range shot, and those guys are booking it, trust me, because they're trying to get out of that spawn. He's there to clean it up. It's not your job as that center player to go look for these kills actively. It's your job to make sure that people aren't continuing to make it into the arcade. Your job is to always keep eyes on and make sure that no one gets into that arcade. As you're getting up in these positions here, you can play that from wherever you want. Shooting down the center of the street. Realize they can get into that red bus, they can be at top of the red bus, and they can also get into the scaffolding. Not quite that high, but that's where it's at. I like to personally put a claymore in this general spot here, just in case they get between these buses and try to get behind us from left or under the scaffolding, which is considered a left position. If you hear yellow bus, this is where it's at, and it means, you know, obviously shit's hitting the fan a little bit. Okay, so that's our yellow bus call out, or between the buses. Your yellow bus, that's where it's at. Blue bus means they made it typically up the street somehow and or through the arcade. They're going to end up being somewhere near this blue bus. That's the call out there. Okay. What I like to do off the break, and I'm just going back to our center players. We're going to have two of them. All right. One person can honestly cover this this road just fine. But I mean, just simply standing here on top of this railing. I know it sounds stupid, but it gives you a little bit better look down this line here. And you're going to shoot anyone that's trying to get into this arcade, no problem. If they smoke it up, you're going to have an issue, obviously. And that's where that player that's going right is going to end up pushing up farther up by that arcade, actually playing inside the arcade or just out of it. So, getting those cleanup kills. And the call out should be there almost every time. So, I try not to expose myself to this bus that much, to this crack up here on scaffolding. Because I just don't need to get killed. My job is to keep them out of the arcade as a center player from this side and cross this road up. So having two center players, one more near the left-hand side, keeping them out of the arcade, and another one could be, you know, I don't care, wherever you can find another spot that's going to give you an angle where you can look down the road. I'm totally cool with. You don't want to get too crazy, but we'll have to search around for some angles. Honestly, one player in the middle can cover that, no problem, with one player to his right. But off the break, we might have those two players again scoping down the road to make sure they don't get in an arcade and get behind us. Okay, so at a minimum, there'll be one player in the middle, which is generally anywhere in this area here, simply covering down the road. All right, this is honestly a spot I play as well. It works really well. You just have to know where they're going to be coming from. It's going to take time to learn those things, but really it's going to be here or to the right of these vehicles. Okay, so one player here in the center, one player on the right. This right-hand player is going to eventually be able to move up, all right? And he can cross it up from a multitude of different angles. I recommend you put landmines or claymores somewhere in this area and cut off this doorway, all right? What's kind of cool is you can get up in this building here, and you can cross it up, all right? You can look this way, look out left, get some cool angles, all right? And what's nice is no one's going to be sneaking up on you here and shooting you, because remember, we got that center player keeping them from ever getting even close to here. So you can play in that arcade. If they start catching on, you know, you can come out here, switch your angles up. I don't recommend coming out here too much, because then you're exposing yourself to a lot of angles. But you know, keeping yourself covered, doing this sort of thing, you should be good. I even you know, lay down here. Okay, just gotta watch out for flashbangs and smoke and stuff like that. So that's our far right hand player. Probably only one guy out that way to start. We might have another player just kind of play over here just to keep crossed up on the left, or you know, help support that left hand side. You know, whether he be just kind of back here somewhere. Sure, we can find some pretty cool angles. Do some map exploring, figure it out. But it's always good to keep angles crossed up. So if we can put a guy over here on the right somewhere, well, not there obviously, but somewhere over here on the right, you can see this barrier kind of gets in the way. You don't have great angles, so it may or may not happen. You just got to kind of play around, find the angles, see what works. But one player on the right, that's basically an arcade player. His responsibility is to shoot towards the left-hand side of the street, shoot this area right here. Keep them out of this arcade. That's your job. If someone makes it into the arcade because the middle player is down or misses the shot, your job is to basically keep them from getting behind us. You're the final stand. You're the last draw. So that's middle, that's right. Again, off the break, I want 2 snipers, or not snipers, but 2 at least 4 times scope players looking down, shooting them before they can get in here. Make sure to make those call-outs, and then have a player posted up ready just in case they get out, and that's the far right player. Once everything gets cleaned up, that's when that far right player will push up towards the arcade and shoot cross-field across the street from right to left. Okay, so now it's perfectly crossed up between those 2 players. And that leaves left. So that was a lot of time on right, way more than I probably should have, so I apologize. But I'm just trying to be thorough. So right now they can get into Donna or Cork and Glass, and really these are the 2 spots that you're going to be shooting people out of. The only way they can get even get into Donna is if we let them into Cork and Glass and come through this doorway here. This is the only way in. So if we keep them out of here, they don't make it. We can play actually in Donna. Shoot them as they come through the door. Position a player here. Close the door, put a claymore down. You can play actually inside here. Shoot them as they come out the door. You can push up a little bit. Shoot them around the corner. Shoot them down this way. Shoot them as they come through this door. Put claymores here. Whatever you want to do. The more you push this side, I think honestly the easier the angles get for you. Okay. The only way they can get behind you is if they come through the center street. Through this particular part of the building. Not even really sure what this is. Electronics. This is the electronics store apparently. But by getting here, you cut it off. Alright, this keeps everyone out of scaffolding, keeps them out of the underside of scaffolding, keeps them from getting into the bus, and if you look at your angles, I mean, if you're playing this aggressively, or even this aggressively, you don't need to worry about anyone coming down the street here and getting you, because this is when that center player is shooting them. So you're safe. More aggressively you play this left-hand side, the easier the angle get, alright? I mean, you can play here and you cover it. Not as well, but nonetheless, you still cover it. So I wouldn't make it too difficult on yourself. I'd keep it simple. I'd keep switching up the angles on them just a little bit. But having a player in the electronics store is going to make things easy. And honestly, you're going to steal a lot of kills from players that are in the center if you do so. If you're playing more defensively, the angle that we need to have is kind of this general angle here. What this does is clean up any kills that are going to the arcade in case they miss it. It also covers scaffolding, so they can't get into that bus without get up top without you seeing them, and they can't get down here and cause trouble on the left. So if we can keep them out of Donna, because once they get into Donna, they got a lot of cover.
30 seconds. Time's up. Move your asses.
Unless of course you shoot them under here, and then once they get into Donna, they're kind of screwed. Shoot them from under the ambulance, and then find a way that we can cover these general areas at Cork and Glass, and we're good. I mean, you don't need to be all the way up. You can find cool spots, do your research, and we're going to put 3 guns on the left-hand side, okay? So whether you're pushed up and you're playing inside of electronics, or you're playing inside of Cork and Glass, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do
Stand down, it's a deadlock.
push these positions and keep them from basically coming through doorways, okay? So that's the game plan right now on this one. So hopefully that clarified kind of generally where they can come from and the sort of damage they can cause. But just realize we're shooting people as they come in and out of doorways, as they're trying to cross big, huge streets. And as long as we keep our guns crossed up, we should be good. So the big key is press, press, press. They're not going to flip the spawns. It's just the way the game's set up. And let's shoot them through doorways, okay? So ideally having an electronics player, an arcade player, one center player at a minimum, and having someone in and around that left-hand side ambulance by Donna, shooting under the ambulance. You can shoot anyone that gets into Donna. There's those angles that we had discussed, but ideally what we're looking to do is cut off the angles that I had just shown, okay? So just realize the more you press up that left-hand side and shoot people before they get into Donna, even as they're coming into cork and glass or the electronics, we're going to make it really tough on them, and it's going to make our job easier, okay? We don't need to work harder to get kills. Let's just push, make our job really simple. Find those angles on your own time, and as I get more time and as I play other positions and I start seeing some angles, or if you find great angles, comment below. We'll find them together, we'll make a video, and we'll post it so that way we can get everyone on the same page and make everyone's life easier and everyone's jobs easier. So thank you for watching this long video. It's a complicated map, and it's important we get the breakout correct, because once we can establish our lines, it's an easy map. And so that's why the breakout is so important. Alright, so thanks for watching. We'll have other maps on this video in regards to callouts, because it's a big map, and obviously we have to hit the alliance spawn as well, which is this harder spawn to break out of, but if you can break out of it, we're going to pin them just as easily. So comment below, like, and thank you for watching, guys.